cortina multidão, caminho incerto e errante, pois tu, oh meu perfeito pecado, amor alegre e chorando, és meu fado, amigo e amante. Os versos com que beijas minha boca são rosas de tocar avermelhada. Se os canto, saio de mim como louca, e estas palavras choram-se cantadas. Não posso mais calar esta loucura. Porventura o destino quer-me assim, andando a vida inteira à procura de ti, que vives só e para mim. Eu sou essa ternura que me dás e se mistura nesse olhar de tristeza que tem a sua beleza. Sou da minha palavra que na minha voz é escarada. Sou a saudade atrás de quando juntos somos sós. Eu sou somente essa solidão, só por ti na multidão, caminho incerto e errante, pois tu, ó meu perfeito pecado, amor alegre e chorado, és meu fado, amigo e amante. Eu sou somente essa solidão, só por ti na multidão, caminho incerto e errante, pois tu, ó meu perfeito pecado, amor alegre e chorado, és meu fado, amigo e amante.
Hello, and welcome to the Stringing It Together podcast. I am Becky, your host, and I'm coming to you from, excuse me, I'm kind of still sick. I'm coming to you from a very gray and kind of rainy Frankfurt, Germany this morning. Yeah, I have not been podcasting very often, and now I forget what I say at the beginning. But I should put my social media stuff up. I totally forgot that last time, I think. I'm Soprano Knits on Instagram, where I'm most active, and also Soprano Knits on Ravelry, where you can also find my knitting designs. And we have a Ravelry group for the podcast, which I definitely didn't mention last time. It's the Stringing It Together podcast group. So we have stuff going on over there, occasionally. Yeah. Good. So it's nice to be back with you guys. I do not have a lot of time to record this morning, so I'm going to kind of try to speed through some stuff kind of quickly, but I did want to get an episode in before Edinburgh Yarn Festival, which is a week from today. Well, actually, it starts a week from yesterday, but I will be there a week from today. So if you are going, I will only be there on the Friday because I am doing a crazy thing and flying in between a dress rehearsal and a premiere. So I will get there like in the afternoon I'll only be there on Friday afternoon, basically. So I will be there for a pretty short time. So if you'll be around and you see me, please do come up and say hello. I think I only got like recognized once last year, and I was so excited. So maybe I'll get recognized like 2 times. That would be cool. But I am so excited to be going and to see so many of my friends, and especially really excited to see Hannah. Hi, Hannah, who is of course the Cornered Craft and my knitting bestie, and just like bestie in real life. And we have not seen each other actually in person since she moved away from being my neighbor, and I'm so excited. So excited. So yeah, I don't know, I get to see so many people. I get to see Rebecca and the twins. Oh my god, the twins that were conceived when I was there. That sounds a lot creepier than it is. And Hannah and I were staying with her and her wife, and yeah, it was like a secret, but we knew because we were there. And anyway, so they were like the EYF babies from last year, and I can't wait to meet them. I don't know. Anyway, I'm really, really excited to go, and it's a crazy thing that I'm doing, but I'm doing it for the friends. I'm really not doing it for the shopping at all. There are just so many people. I'm going to meet the Periscoping sisters for the first time, and yeah. Kristen's coming, Kristen Bulladine. Oh my god. I can't wait. So I do have actually a fair amount to talk about today though. So why don't we go ahead and get started? I don't think I'm really forgetting anything else before we just jump in. Okay, so since we last spoke, I did have another pattern released because I'm like a pattern machine right now, apparently. And that was my waveform mittens. So there are these, there's hair on them. I have been using them actually a little bit. So these are the waveform mittens. They are a pretty simple but mighty mitten pattern that I designed with Rain Cloud and Sage yarns. And they have buttonholes, which are optional, but they're written into the pattern. There's a video tutorial, written instructions, everything. Yes, and we released these with kits. And there's still a couple of kits left, you guys, so that will definitely be linked below, or you can go to raincloudandsage.com. There are only some kits left in the cream, which is what I knit the sample in, of course. The gray one sold out. So if you got a kit, thank you so much. But yeah, really don't miss out on these. I would recommend, because she's not going to have the space for quite some time, and it's so beautiful. It's really reasonably priced. So the yarn, the Skein of the Origin yarn, and the pattern is 19 euros plus shipping, and if you live internationally, shipping from Germany is super reasonable. So I highly recommend that you try to get your hands on those. Thank you so much to those of you who purchased them already. And if you want to learn more about Rain Cloud and Sage and Ruth, who is one of the awesome founders of that company, you may have seen that I posted a sort of like an interview. It's more of like an informal chat that I had with her. I posted that on this channel. I'll also link that below, of course. Because I went to go see her in Marburg, which is like an hour away from me. We had never met in person, which was ridiculous. And she helped me do the photo shoot for these, which was so helpful because it's really hard to photograph your own hands. I thought feet were bad, and they are. It's hard to photograph my own feet for sock designs, but hands are way worse because you can't use your hands to take a picture. So Ruth was my amazing, beautiful model, and the pictures turned out stunningly beautiful, and that chat was really great, and I know that a lot of you enjoyed it. So thank you for those of you who watched and commented and told me that you would like for me to do more things like that on this channel. I really would like to do more things like that, especially when I'm collaborating with other makers and other women, and especially people that are kind of more local to me here. And by the way, it was yesterday, but happy International Women's Day. Yeah, I spent a lot of time just thinking about that day and what it means to me to be in this community of primarily women, although we love our men too. We love our male knitters. We love you. But yeah, I don't know. It just, there's such an amazing community of generous, kind, helpful, supportive, creative, badass women, and I am like so happy to be a part of it. So yeah. So anyway, the waveform mittens, those are out in the world, go get your copy. Of course, you can also just buy the pattern that is available as well. And coming up next, I'm very excited, and I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about these. I haven't shown them to you yet, although if you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen them. It's a very special project. So, these are the Doris mitts. So I will get a little bit closer so you can see them. So they are a fingerless mitt pattern, and as you can see, the base of them, I have a progress keeper on here because I made 2 pairs. I wanted to know which was which because it's hard to tell. Their fingerless mitt pattern, as you can see, it's pretty simple. It has some short row shaping and some eyelets. And then we have this giant flower and this smaller flower here. And these are both done with duplicate stitching. I know that duplicate stitching gets kind of a bad, I'm going to put them on while I'm talking. Duplicate stitching gets kind of a bad rap, and I don't understand why. I actually really enjoyed it. Let me get closer there for you. Focus, good. I find it to be really meditative and fun, and I also just liked that you didn't have to do a lot of color work. You could just knit the mitts, which were super fast and easy to do, and then spend this time just kind of like lovingly stitching this pattern on here. So yeah, so this is a super duper special project to me, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit. I hope you can indulge me. So a little bit of like where this design came about is interesting, I think. So one day I was in London hanging out with Ellie, who's Skein Deer Knits, of course. Hi, Ellie. And we were being nerds and looking through her knitting books and looking through her color work books, and something that I saw in there reminded me that I had this idea that I really wanted to translate this wycinanki, which is a Polish paper cutting art, and I'll put in some examples of what that looks like. I wanted to translate that into knitting somehow, but I couldn't imagine how I would do it because it's so intricate, and I just thought it would be fairly difficult to really translate that into knitting, right? So yeah, so I just sort of had thought out loud about that to her. And then the very next day, I believe, I remember clearly I was waiting in line to board my plane at the airport in London, and I got a text from Ellie that said, oh my God, look at the pom-pom call for submissions and look at their mood board. So I went and looked, and it was for their spring issue that just recently came out, and the theme was stamps of the world, and they had a Polish stamp on there that had a blue background, and it had this sort of like neon pink flower on it that isn't wycinanki, but it sort of, you know, it was a nod to that. And she said, you have to do it. Like, this is your chance. You have to figure it out, and you have to submit. And Pom-Pom has pretty short submission deadlines, so I knew I had to do it fast. And I decided to do fingerless mitts because they have them in most of their spring issues. And yeah, I went crazy trying to figure it out. I tried doing stranded color work. It just didn't look good, and it wasn't fun. It's too many colors, too many like small things. It looked horrible. Ripped that out. I think I tried a couple times, ripped it out. And then tried doing intarsia in the round, which is my personal version of hell, I realized. I'm not knocking intarsia. I just thought, especially in something this small, I think if you were doing like a big design, like in one color on a sweater or something big, it might be okay, but I just thought this would be literally hell. So ripped that out. Took me a while to get the shaping I wanted correct and everything. And finally, I tried duplicate stitching, which I'd actually never done before, but it's super simple. And yeah, so I actually have my original swatch that I submitted to Pom-Pom. It was rejected, so I could show you this. So yeah, this was my original idea. So as you can see, it's changed, and I like this shape a lot more. I think it's a little bit more, I kept the leaves mostly the same, but yeah. And I like this color palette more as well. So yeah, so that was sort of the progression. So I did most of the work for the submission, so even though it wasn't accepted, I knew I wanted to do it anyway. So then I really wanted to use Polish wool if possible. So I did a lot of research, and there isn't a lot of Polish wool. And most of what I could find that's actually sourced from sheep from Poland is commercial, and that's fine. I have no problem with commercial yarn. It just seemed like, I don't know, it just didn't have the right feel to me. And then, just from searching on Ravelry, because God bless it, you can search everything, I found this. So Martin's Lab, which you've probably heard of, he does a lot of crazy cool acid dyed colors on mainly superwash. But he's in Poland. He's the husband of, I'm gonna say her name wrong, Justyna Marszkowska? I should know. I can pronounce Polish names, of course, but anyway, putting it on screen. But yeah, so he has this wool, and on 3 different bases, or just 3 different, it's all the same base, but it's different weights. And it's the Żelazna wool. Let me see if I can get that, yeah. So it is made and sourced in Poland, and it's from a couple of different breeds. It's totally undyed, 100% wool, 400 meters per 125 grams. So it's a heavier fingering weight for sure. And it is beautiful, as you can see. I really wanted a gray base. This is the 2-ply. There's also a lace weight and a DK weight. Let's focus, refocus. So I contacted Marcin, and I asked him if he would be willing to provide yarn support, and he said yes. So I got those, but he told me that he didn't dye the yarn, so I thought, okay, now what am I going to do? And of course, the first thing I thought of was my friend Saskia of Ovis Etc., because, while she doesn't have a Polish source wool, she does all natural dyeing. And she had a picture up on Instagram with some colors that are in this palette that really inspired me. And I contacted her and I said, hey, do you want to be part of this project with me? And she said, yes, totally. So she dyed up a bunch of these minis. And this is on her quadruple Dutch base, which is actually, she has listed as a lace weight base, but I had samples of a lot of her fingering weight or lighter weight bases in my stash anyway. So I duplicate stitched over my swatch, and this one covered the best because it's woolen spun, it's very plump. So then they were born. So I just love that it's on Polish wool, and then it's duplicate stitched with yarn that's been naturally dyed, so it's really from plants. So why did I want to do this with this art? Why is this important to me? So my mom's side of the family is Polish in heritage, and while like most Americans, I'm a mutt, right? I come from a lot of different backgrounds. That's really the one cultural identity that I've ever connected to in my life. And I'm from Chicago, which the joke is that Chicago is the biggest city in Poland because we have a huge Polish population there. So being from there really allowed me, I think, to connect to that part of my past. So when I was a pretty young child, my mom is a singer as well, not classical, but she always sang at church, and a lot of people knew her that way. So there were some ladies from church whose parents both passed away pretty close to each other, actually. And they hadn't really talked to my mom, but they'd heard her sing and loved her voice and asked if she would sing at the funerals. So because these 2 funerals really sadly happened close to each other, my mom got to know them pretty well. And there are 2 sisters, and they are also Polish. And one of them is an artist, and I don't know why. My mom connected with them, and for some reason, I think just thought they had just had this huge loss in their life of both of their parents who they had been living with and caring for. And in an effort to cheer them up, my mom brought over my sister and I, who they had also seen at church and, thought we were cute. And I think I was 4 and my sister was 6 years old. And I still remember going to meet them, and I was a super shy kid and kind of being like, okay, like who are these much older ladies that we're hanging out with? And maybe even on that first trip, Doris got out some of her art because Doris is an expert in Vigilanki. And it's a traditional art, and it's sort of dying out, and she's keeping it alive, and just has done the most beautiful work, and has also done a lot of cultural outreach in Chicago and the Polish community there. So she started teaching my sister and I to do this. Very simple stuff at first, and actually, down the road, my sister ended up getting a grant from the Illinois Arts Council to do this work with her. My sister is an amazingly talented visual artist. But I always did it too. And from just meeting them, we formed this, I'm gonna get emotional. We formed this incredible friendship that is, crying on the podcast. One of the most special parts of my life. And and it helped that they were two sisters, and they just became family, but even more than that, they were always our friends. And that's why, it's hard to describe them to other people, because I think with family, you always have, if it's your grandparents or an aunt or whatever, sorry guys, it's embarrassing. You have like the separation, where you can't really talk to them about everything. And with Doris and Alice, they always treated us, even when I was 4 years old, they always treated me like an individual person, and never really like a child. And that was so special, especially as I got a little older, and like when you start to get to that age when you're really ready for people to start taking you seriously. And as we grew up, they were just our friends, and I remember sometimes when we were out and they'd have to ask us, buckle your seatbelt or hold my hand when we cross the street, they would say things like, oh, because I'm supposed to be the adult. So this summer when I went home, I went to see them, and Alice was actually pretty sick, and she was in a rehabilitation center, but, I said, I'm coming to see you no matter what, and I did. And it was really the first time I sat down and talked to them about my designing and my, how into knitting I've gotten. And, Doris especially was just so interested in it, and she said, it makes so much sense to me that you're doing this because you're so creative and you're so artistic. And that meant so much to me because, I don't know, next to my sister, I never felt like the creative one, and I never felt like the artistic one, and Doris always made me feel that way, that the work I did was beautiful and that it was like meaningful. And in the shadow of my sister, I really never felt that way from anyone else. So that was really important, and Alice loved it too, and it was just a really great afternoon spending time with them, although it was really hard to see Alice like that. And 2 days after I visited them, Alice passed away, which was a huge surprise. She wasn't doing well, but she suddenly just declined and passed away. And, that was really hard. It still is. And, the kind of positive thing that came out of it is that Doris and I started writing letters back and forth and like sending each other little gifts. And she doesn't have a computer or a smartphone, not because she's not smart enough to do it, but just because she's too cool. She just like doesn't want to. So, but I love that we've been writing letters, and that's been really special to me the last few months. And another connection that I have with Doris is that we have the same birthday. So, and this is something that we've always loved sharing, and I don't know, it's just always connected us in this really special way. And I actually didn't realize until a few months ago that we are exactly 50 years apart. So this year I am turning 30 next Sunday on the 18th, and she is turning 80, which is big. So I designed this for her, and sorry, God, they're important to me, clearly. So I made 2 pairs and I sent her one, and they are going to be called the Doris Mitts because they are designed in her honor, and I cannot wait for her to get them. And they're totally matching. I didn't do anything different. Just because then when we wear them, we can think of each other, and it's like our special little bond. And yeah, I'm really, really excited about that, and I hope that she loves them. So those are the Doris Mitts. I'm going to release the pattern, I believe, next Thursday, because I don't want to worry about doing it over the weekend because it's going to be crazy. But I wanted it to be out for my birthday, and well, her and my birthday. So those are the Doris Mitts. They're being tested right now, and that's my story, and I'm going to go blow my nose because I've been crying on the podcast. Oh, and I forgot to show you as well the Ovis Etc. mini skeins. So Saskia is going to have kits with these in her shop, and I also have 2 extras actually. So why don't we do a giveaway on the podcast? Let's do it so you can win some of these mini skeins. How does that sound? So I will open a thread in the Ravelry group, so do go over there. Yeah, I'm not sure what the prompt will be, but it will probably be something touchy-feely. Like, you know, who's someone in your life that, you know, just like who's the most important person in your life, and tell me something about them. And, you know, yeah, because we have to celebrate these special people. And, yeah, or go crazy and like design a knitting pattern for them. But, yeah, so yarns that I used. Anyway, okay, I need to move on because I really don't have that much time. But I wanted to really tell the story of that because it's special to me, and I don't know, maybe you guys will find it interesting. I don't always obviously have that much of a backstory for design, but yeah. So I don't know if anyone will want to knit them or if anyone will want to do that much duplicate stitching. I have absolutely no idea, but I kind of don't care. I mean, like, this project was just for her and for me, and of course I decided to share it with all of you because I really like them and I think they're cool. But yeah. Okay, so let's move on to things that are actually on my needles. And maybe let's start with the tail of woe. So last time I mentioned that I cast on the Polworth sweater, which is a pattern by Isolde Teague. I love this pattern. I have some of her blend number 1 that I bought at EYF last year. Oops. It's not even on the needles anymore because it's getting frogged. And this is all I had. This took a long time, you guys. Her brain is just like too smart for me. And it's wrong and I have to reknit it. So I'm very, very sad about that. And it's going to just kind of sit in timeout for a while because I know I have to do like the whole yoke sitting in a room in silence by myself and with lots of lifelines next time. I have a couple of friends who've knit it and they had to also frog it in this stage several times. The pattern's not wrong, it's just like her brain doesn't work how most people's brain work, I believe, and my friends that had to rip it out are super prolific sweater knitters, I mean way more than me, so I don't really feel that horrible about myself, I just am sad. So I still want the sweater though, and I definitely still want to use that yarn. I cast on a vanilla sock at one point, so it's not very exciting, but I'll show it. But it is exciting because this is yarn that Hannah dyed, Hannah of the Court of Craft, who has chromatic yarns. Although this was one of her first things that she dyed, so it's not a repeatable colorway. But I will link to her shop, so definitely go and check that out because she has a bunch of beautiful yarn. But yeah, that's what I have so far. So it's vanilla sock, but the yarn is really beautiful. So there's that. Pulling right along. And then, yeah, I've just been feeling a little burned out from designing stuff. I don't know. It's been a lot of computer work and a lot of time, and I just wanted to like knit and not think about it. So I also cast on another pattern that isn't mine. So this, I wanted a new hat. And this is a pattern by my friend Farina of the Wool Club. And this is the Hygge hat. She had a Hygge sweater with this same motif that was in the Len magazine that I believe has recently been released as its own pattern if you're interested. But yeah, so you do, this is going to be folded in when I'm done with the cabling so that it's double warm, which I love. And yeah, so there it is. This has been sort of on hold the last few days because I will tell you why. But I'm really excited to have this hat. I can't knit on it so much all the time because all the like tiny cables are sort of hurting my wrist if I work on it for a long time. And that's probably just me and the way I knit and whatever. But it's super beautiful. So yay. And it's nice to knit one of Raina's patterns again. It's been a while, and it's just nice to not have to think about it myself. So, the other day, I've had the flu for the past week and a half, and so this is my last day home from work. I'm feeling better for sure, but yeah, still kind of sick. But like in my like sick brain the other day, I was like, wait, I want to have an EYF sweater. I was going to just use this, which by the way is my piece of silver. I haven't worn it on the podcast, but I finished it on Christmas Eve, I think. So I bought this yarn last year. It's La Bien-Aimée at UYF. And I thought, I'll just wear this. Because I also finished my Lopi sweater, but I know it'll be too hot in there to wear that. But I don't know, just in a fit of madness, the other day I was like, I wonder if I can knit a sweater before UYF. I'm still not sure I'm going to pull it off, but we'll see. So I was thinking about my stash, and while I do have 3 sweaters quantities, they're all like planned, the project that they're going into, and I knew that I couldn't knit any of those in the time allotted. One of them is like a crazy, it's the flea cardigan with the crazy color work. No way. I could knit that in a week and a half. No way I could do the Isolde pattern because the yoke's crazy. And the other one, I want to do the Andawa by Michelle Wong. Also, no way I could knit that many cables and seam a sweater. Hell no. So I was thinking, like Gabby of Once Upon a Corgi stopped recording for some reason. So I knew that Gabby had knit this cropped sweater, and then I went on Ravelry to find it, and I was looking through the projects. And I asked Gabby. She said she used like 150 grams, and I was like, I don't have more than one skein of fingering weight in the same color. Oh, what do I do? And I was looking at the projects, and then I saw it. Casey Mauer's version, which is amazing, and I just thought I am going to totally rip her off. So Gabby and I were like texting back and forth. She was and I was showing her all these color combinations. It was like 11:30 at night, and I was like digging through my stash. So I cast it on, and I'm following Casey's notes for the striking. So this is the Perfect Crop Top by Teresa Gregorio, who is Canary Knits. And it's a really cool pattern because there are a lot of options and it's really customizable. So this is what I have so far, first of all. It looks like a doll sweater is what my friend was saying, but it should fit, right? Yeah, it's just on really small needles. It's a yoked sweater, and it has instructions for top down and bottom up, which is really cool. It has modifications for if you want to add texture or color work or cables or lace or anything to the yoke at all. It has some like shaping modifications and also some sleeve options. I want to do 3/4 length sleeves if I have time. We shall see. So this is what I have so far. Ta-da! I think it's going to be really pretty, actually, if I can get it done. We'll see. And I'm okay with it being cropped. However, especially with this sweater, like these are the most high-waisted jeans that I have, and you can see that it's like a little bit too cropped for these jeans. So I almost would want it to be a little bit longer. I do wear this with high-waisted skirts, and it's fine, or sometimes over dresses, and that's okay. But yeah, so let me talk to you about the yarns. Oh, I have to go get a tag for one of them though. Okay, so this is, I don't have a traditional tag, but I'll show you this because I got it in a swap from my friend Stina. But it's this beautiful Swedish yarn. It's just a natural cream, and it's so buttery. It's a single ply. It's totally amazing. So this is the info. I'm not going to try to pronounce that. But you can see the website here where you can go and get it. And it's really, really, really beautiful yarn. Yeah, the problem with it is it's a little bit thinner than the other ones I'm using. And it's kind of like thick and thin in spots. So I was worried about the gauge, but I did, even though I'm speed knitting a sweater, I did swatch. And then I looked at it and I thought, I don't know. And I blocked the swatch. And it definitely bloomed a little bit. And I actually, the gauge that the sweater calls for is, I think, 24 stitches per 10 centimeters, and I got 26 on the recommended needle. And I'm knitting it on a 3.25 millimeter. Normally I knit fingering weight sweaters on a 3.5, but again, since I knew this was thinner, I thought I'm going to swatch on the smaller needle. And it bloomed to 24 when I blocked it. So it should be okay, even though it like looks visibly thinner than the other two when I'm knitting it. I think it'll block out just fine. So that's one yarn. And then, I don't have the tag over here, but maybe I do. Yeah, I do. It's in here. Okay, this skein is a skein from Chile Knits, my friend Connie. Hello if you're watching. And I ordered this from her from Chile and have had it in my stash, just like dying to know what to do with it. There's the tag. And this is her Nimbus fingering, which is an 80-10-10 merino cashmere nylon in the Caracol, I don't speak Spanish, sorry, colorway, which means snail. I know. And it's funny because Connie is like so known for her crazy colors, and I bought like the most neutral thing ever. But it is, it's so, so stunning. I feel like my sweater is maybe, yeah. And then for the last color, because as you can see, there's sort of like an outline to every stripe, I'm using the rest of my Tuscan Knits from the Kaluna Socks collab. So this is in the Kaluna colorway. Yeah. I just thought like all these yarns are so special to me, and I get to have them all in a garment. And I'm super excited about it. I think it looks good. I think it looks good. So hopefully I will be wearing that IDYF if I can get it done. I'm going to really try. I ordered, again, because it's not my normal sweater size, I ordered a 9-inch circular for a new size for the sleeves, because I find I can knit sleeves super fast on 9-inch circs. So need to do some power knitting this weekend for sure. Okay, so that is it for what's on my needles. Oh my gosh. Okay, time is flying. Let's talk about stash acquisitions, because I have quite a few. And I'm going to kind of power through them because I know not everyone loves this part, but I went to Portugal, you guys, which I'm also not going to talk about that much. I could go on forever. I do have a lot of photos and video footage that I have begun to edit together, but it's going to take me a long time. So I'm probably going to kind of let that speak for itself. But I do just want to say, especially based on what I talked about in my last episode, I forgot to say this sooner, thank you so much for all of your comments. I didn't have a chance to respond to all of them, but I read them all, and just the love and support that you showed for me after going through a really rough time. I'm doing so much better now. I already was then, and I think that trip really helped. It was exactly what I needed. It was like, just like, you know, give yourself a gift. Be really, really good to yourself in the way that you would be to someone else. That trip was that for me. It doesn't have to be a vacation, right? But like, just, it was magical. And I love Portugal, and I would move there literally in a heartbeat. It has my heart so much. I love it. So, before I go to Portugal yarn, I also have some new stash that I just got in the mail, because this is for a new design that I'm doing for the next Making Stories book, which is called Jewels. I swatched and submitted to this like super on a whim, and I'm gonna have a design in it. So I don't remember if I'm allowed to talk about what the design is, but these are the colors. They're from Tulliver Yarns, and it's gonna be awesome. I cannot wait. So more on that later. And it's gonna have to be fairly secret, but I thought I'd show you the yarn because it is stunningly beautiful. So cool. Okay. Now, Retrosaria, or the Rosa Pomar, I did some damage there. So I bought this skein of Mondium, which I bought because it just like reminds me of Portugal, the colors, basically. I was going to knit vanilla socks, but I think I'm going to design with it. I already started kind of playing around, which is why it's coming out. And then I bought 2 more colors of it, which might be another design. This like fun bright yellow, and then just like a cream color. Might be color work, I don't know. And then I also bought some of this. I love this base. So this is a DK weight single ply. Oh, and sorry, this is a non-superwash sock yarn. This is amazing. This was also featured in socks. It's 100% Portuguese wool. And I just love all of their like graphic design. It's so stunning. I didn't get to meet Rosa. I was so sad that she wasn't there. We messaged a bit, but yeah. And then you can see definitely a color theme. This Joao base is so stunning, and she had some color work, a color work hat that she designed, and I got to see it knit up in this, and it was so amazing. Also 100% wool, also from Portuguese merino sheep. Totally beautiful. So I might use those all in something as well. Now, then, oh wait, no, I also got some fabric there. They had a small but like amazing fabric selection. I really wish I bought more. So this is just some Japanese cotton. I have enough to make a dress. I think it's super beautiful. So yeah. And then I went to Porto, and there's a yarn store there, and I was so happy it was open on, I guess it was Mardi Gras. So, because a lot of things were closed that day, actually. It's like a public holiday. So, yeah, Ovelha Negra, which means black sheep in Portuguese, was there, and oh my god. They also have a lot of their own yarns, and I was just like blown away. And I also spent a lot of time talking with the owner, Joanna. I don't know, she's probably not watching this, but she is so lovely, and like I love her. Like we spent a lot of time talking, and oh, I adore her, seriously. So I got 2 of their bases. I wanted to buy everything, and we'll probably be like knitting in their yarn forever because I'm obsessed. So this is one base called Victoria. It is a fingering weight, and the colors of this are stunning. This is 100% Portuguese wool. And it's definitely like a rustic woollier wool, which I adore. So I got this amazing like wine color. This color. And then this really awesome gray. And she also has an amazing mustard color that I'm definitely going to buy a sweater's quantity in, but I just like couldn't fit anywhere in my suitcase. And then this I really fell in love with. This is 55% merino and 45% cotton, the Olivia base. Look at this color. So I got 3 of these, and I'm going to make like a summery top out of it, and I think I'm going to try to design one, you guys. But she had some of this yarn knit up, and it was amazing knit up. Just, oh. And she had a lace shawl, and she had a top, and it was just the drape of it and the feel of it, and like it looked amazing in lace. I'm obsessed with this. So I'm going to have her make me some shade cards and send them to me. It's going to be good. I mean, make her. We talked about it, and she said that she would. Because also I know that like all of my knitting friends in Frankfurt are going to want some of that. And it's all really reasonably priced. And both of these shops, I have to mention, have websites. So you can order from them online. And you should, because they're amazing. Oh my god. Like, can I just go to Portugal and like work in these yarn shops and knit all day? And live in Portugal because I'm obsessed with Portugal. I loved it so much. I don't know. I guess I'm talking about it now, but it's hard to describe. Lisbon especially, it has all of the features of every city that I love and more. It's really old and you know, like it's beautiful, and the tiles on all the buildings just are freaking mind-blowingly amazing. There's laundry hanging from the windows everywhere, but it's kind of like also like run down and grungy, but like also really beautiful and old, and it's just like this really romantic combination. And I know that it's also like, I want to say as well that Portugal in the past has had, I would say the past 100 years or so has had a lot of like economic problems, and they were under a dictatorship for a long time and have definitely had some like economic and financial woes, which is part of the reason it looks like that. Also, there was like a huge earthquake that destroyed everything. It was so beautiful. Everyone was so nice to tourists who don't speak Portuguese. I mean, I tried to like pick up some things, but at the end of the day, I don't speak Portuguese. The food was incredible. I ate everything, and it was like really cheap. So if you're looking for like a European vacation that is really affordable and amazing, go to Portugal. Go to Portugal. Oh my God. I don't know, I can't even describe it. It stole my heart in this huge way, and I adore it, and I can't wait to go back and like explore more of the country. And yeah, that's really it. I mean, it was amazing. And other than that, yeah, I mean, there's been stuff going on, but I won't bore you. I've been sick. We have a premiere next weekend, so it makes it kind of hard that I've been sick this week, and I have a big audition on the 19th, and yeah, but I'm so excited to go to EYF. Again, if you're going, please come up and say hello, even if I'm like exhausted and overwhelmed by just like being there for a few hours, but please do come say hi. I would love that. And yeah, I'm not really planning on buying all that much. I have enough yarn. Oh, and I really wanted to mention this. I'm doing a D-stash, a fairly like significant D-stash right now, and I will link that below as well. It's all up on Ravelry, so I'll put the direct link, but if you go to Soprano Knits on Ravelry, look at my stash, and you can select an option to see will trade or sell. Everything is on there. The prices are in euros, but we could do PayPal wherever you are. And I also put shipping price information. Like I said, shipping from Germany is incredibly reasonable. So anywhere you live in the world, if I ship you something that's under 500 grams in total weight, which would be, like a lot of yarn, it's €4, I think, and otherwise it would be 7 if it was like up to 1,000 grams. Yeah, so pretty good. So I could, I guess, maybe kind of quickly, I really need to go though, but I can show you a couple of the things that are in there so you can get an idea. Like for example, and these are all beautiful yarns, I just don't have plans for them and want to just have less, basically. Let's not look at the mess in there. I have like the skein of Plucky Knitter that is on there, like merino base that has 45% merino in it, or cashmere. So that's amazing. I have 3 skeins of Old Maiden Ant that I bought at UIF last year to go together in a project. I just don't have plans for them, but they're so beautiful. Look at them. Look at them. Yeah, I have some things that are caked up, but like a whole skein of Madeline Tosh Neon Peach. It's in a cake, but it's there and it's discounted because it's caked. So some things like that. Hedgehog, I have a few hedgehog things. Anyway, you can go in there and look, but that is happening as well. So I would love it if I could bring home some of this nice yarn. So yes, anyway, I have to go. I really do. I have to go make lunch for a friend that's coming over very soon. Oh God. Okay. But thank you guys so much for being with me and watching. Hopefully I can get this edited sometime this weekend. And I will see some of you at Edinburgh Yarn Festival. I can't wait. And otherwise, I will see you next time. So thank you guys so much for watching. Do like and subscribe if you feel so inclined. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.